I said I was going to come out with a lot of prophecies, and by this I will not fail. I will deliver. Now, I'm going to say this. A lot of the things that listen, a lot of us, even though we have 10 years, 20 years in this truth, we're fairly new. We're still learning. But what I see when it comes to a lot of Hebrew Israelites who are in this truth, they limit themselves because why? They limit themselves when it comes to knowledge because they don't like to read. Like Malcolm X said it the best. If you want to hide something away from a Negroid, just put it in the book. You got a lot of Hebrew Israelites who don't believe in other book that's out there. They don't believe in the book of Enoch. They don't believe in any other book. They think that simply the King James Version Bible, the book of Jasher, what else? The Apocrypha, like these are the only books that's out there. And I tell you this, you limit yourself. You limit yourself to the point of death. You understand that you really don't know what's really going on until you start opening books and reading, and seeking the knowledge and understanding that you don't know everything. All right, now let me get straight to the point here because I don't want to prolong this video because you have a lot of people out there who have a short extension span. So let me get straight to the point. Gog and Magog. You won't believe who is Gog and Magog. Some people are saying that Gog and Magog is the Russians, over there. They are incorrect. You got other people who are saying that Gog and Magog are the Asians. Not necessarily so. They're correct but incorrect. So let me go into the prophecy concerning Gog and Magog. Because when you read about Gog and Magog in the Bible and also in the Apocrypha, it doesn't fully explain to you who is and what is and the prophecy concerning Gog and Magog. Why? Because a lot of people, they either limit themselves, lie to themselves and saying, well, these other books are not part of the Bible. Or you have some other people who really don't have the full prophecy concerning Gog and Magog. Well, this is what I'm here for. Now, there's a prophecy concerning Gog and Magog that explains to you fully the nations concerning Gog and Magog. So let me not prolong this video and get straight to the point and get straight to the prophecy, because I know when it comes to our people have a very short extension span. So let's go straight to it. First and foremost, you got people out there who are saying that Gog and Magog, that the people who are Gog and Magog are the Russians. This is incorrect. And I just wanted to address this first. Now, in order for me to address this, we must go to the book of Jubilees, chapter 8, verse 10. All right. Now, this is Noah, and he's speaking to his sons, and he is dividing the earth in three parts. And it came to pass in the beginning of the 33rd Jubilee that they divided the earth into three parts for Shem and Ham and Japheth, according to the inheritance of each, in the first year, in the first week, when one of us who had been sent was with them. And he called his sons, and they drew nigh to him, they and their children, and he divided the earth into the lots, which his three sons were to take in possession. And they reached forth their hands, and took the writing out of the bosoms of Noah, their father. And there came forth on the writing as Sham's lots, the middle of the earth, which he take as an inheritance for himself and for his sons for the generations of eternity. So Shem took the middle part of the earth. Now we all know the middle part of the earth is Israel, around places like Jordan and Arabia, the Middle East. That's the middle part of the earth. Okay. Now continuing on, it says, from the middle of the mountain range of Rapha, from the mouth of the water from the river Tina, and his portion goes towards the west through the midst of this river, and it extends till it reaches the water of the abysses, out of which this river goes forth and pours its waters into the sea Mayat. And this river flows into the great sea, and all that is towards the north is Japheth, and all that is towards the south belongs to Shem. Now, it's showing you how the earth was divided, that the north belongs to Japheth. This is places like Europe and upper north of Europe, all the way extending to Russia. And what belongs to Shem was the Middle East belongs to Shem. Now, to further prove to you that this is correct, let's go to Jubilees chapter 8, verse 29 to 30. It says this is the land which came forth for Japheth and his sons as the portion of inheritance he should possess for himself and his sons for their generations forever, 5 great islands and a great land in the north. That islands that is talking about is talking about the islands around Greece, around like Spain, around all the way down to next to Turkey. Now it says this, and a great land in the north, and a great land in the north. So that's northern part of Europe. But it is cold. See, it says, but it is cold, and the land of Ham is hot. And the land of Shem is neither cold nor hot, but it is blended cold and heat. So it says that the land of Japheth, 5 great islands, and the land in the north, but it is cold, showing you that the northern parts of the hemisphere is cold. They receive it. The children of Japheth receive it. And as for as the land of Ham, which is hot, which is from Ethiopia down in south, these places are very hot, showing you that the southern parts of Africa they receive, beginning at Ethiopia. And the land of Shem is neither hot nor cold, but is blended of cold and heat. So it's warm. So the simple question is that those people who believe that Gog and Magog are the Russians, my question to you is this, is how is that so when back then Esau did not even exist, when the earth was being divided into 3 parts for the children of Noah? Esau did not receive an inheritance. Esau had to kill and murder to get these portions. So by the process of elimination, we all know that Shem, is, the black people, the Negroids today. And we know that the children of Ham are the East Africans, all the way to, extending from from Ethiopia all the way down to the bottom of Africa, of East Africa. So the thing is this, by the process of elimination, that only leaves the Asians on this whole subject. So the Asians today will be considered Japheth, not the Russians, because the Russians being white today, being the children of Esau, they can't be from the seed of Japheth. They cannot be, because they did not exist during that time. Esau did not exist. So to get that out of the way, the Russians are not today's Japheth. They're not today's Gog and Magog. So white people do not come from the seed of Japheth. Also, the Arabs, which come from the seed of Ishmael, they didn't exist when the earth was being divided into 3 parts and given to the sons of Noah. Esau, which are today's Caucasians, they came from Abraham and Rebekah. And also Ishmael, which is today's Arabs, they came from Abraham and the slave woman Sarah. So when the earth was split into 3 parts and divided, it was given to the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now, some people are saying that Japheth are the modern day Asians. This is true but not necessarily so. And let me explain. It so happened that Gog and Magog are not presently active with this world. In other words, right now, Gog and Magog is nowhere to be found. It's nowhere to be seen in this world. All right. It so happens that Gog and Magog are locked behind a barrier that keeps them from being active in this world. So let me go straight to it, and let's go straight to the prophecy. You will never know what happened to Gog and Magog unless you have the other prophecy. Now, some people are saying that Gog and Magog, are, the Asians today, like the Chinese, the Japanese. This is not true. All right, so let's go to the prophecy, okay? Now, I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to put it up on my screen. You guys could look and read along as I'm reading. And also, I will give you a link so that you can read this text for yourself. Now, let's begin. Of Gog and Magog, who are imprisoned in the north. When Alexander was king and had subdued countries and cities, and had arrived in the east, he saw on the confines of the east those men who are the children of Japheth. They were more wicked and unclean than all other dwellers in the world, filthy people of hideous appearance, who ate mice and the creeping things of the earth, and snakes and scorpions. They never buried the bodies of their dead, and they ate as dainties the children which women aborted. Wow. And the afterbirth, people ignorant of God and unacquainted with the power of reason, but who live in this world without understanding, like a ravening beast. When Alexander saw their wickedness, he called to God to his aid, and he gathered together and brought them and their wives and children, and made them go in and shut them up within the confines of the north. This is the gate of the world of the north, and there is no other entrance or exit from the confines of the world from the east to the north. Wow. So, showing you that Gog and Magog are confined in the north. Now, remember what I said, that Japheth inherited the northern part of the hemisphere, the northern part of this world. That was their lot that belonged to them. And that place was very cold, showing you that Gog and Magog are confined to the north. Now, let me continue on, right? And Alexander prayed to God with tears, and God heard his prayer and commanded those lofty mountains, which are called the children of the north. And they drew nigh to one another until there remained between them about 12 cubits. Then he built in front of them a strong building, and be made for it a door of brass, and anointed it within and without oil of tesnactes. Excuse me, I can't pronounce it. Tesnactes. Okay, so that if they should bring iron implements near it to force it open, they would be unable to move it. And if they wish to melt it with fire, it will be quench it. And it feared neither the operations of devils nor of sorcerers, and was not to become overcome by them. See? So, this door, this gate that they built, I want to say this door, this barrier that block the nations of Gog and Magog, which is keeping them from coming out. So that shows you that that nation is not active in this world right now. As a matter of fact, they've been locked since the time of Alexander the Great, when he built a barrier for these people, keeping them from being active in this world. So right now, Gog and Magog are behind a barrier, and they can't go in and they can't get out. So no one could come in and get out. So not even the operations of devils or of sorcerers can break the barrier, showing you that demons cannot come and break the barrier that's keeping the nations of Gog and Magog. So let us continue. Now there were 22 kingdoms imprisoned within the northern gates, and their name are these: Gog, Magog, Nawal, Ashkenaz, Dinapur, Pakataya, Wilotaya, Unaya. Anyways, it continues on and on until I cannot pronounce these names. These names are very, very hard to pronounce. But anyhow, it says this: at the end of the world, in the final consummation, when men are eating, drinking, and marrying wives, and women are given to husband, when they are planting vineyards and building buildings, and there is neither wicked men nor adversary, on account of the assured tranquility and certain peace, suddenly the gates of the north shall be open, and the hosts of the nations that are imprisoned there shall go forth. The whole earth shall tremble before them, and men shall flee and take refuge in mountains, and in caves, and in burial places, and in clefts of the earth. And they shall die of hunger, and there will be none to bury them, by reason of the multitude of affliction which they will make men suffer. They will eat the flesh of men and drink the blood of animals. They will devour the creeping things of the earth and hunt for serpents and scorpions and reptiles that shoot out venom and eat them. Wow. They will eat dogs and cats, and the abortions of women of in the abortions of women with the afterbirth. Wow. So this is what this disgusting, vile nation is going to do. They're going to eat people alive, even the abortions of women. They will give their mothers the bodies of their children to cook. And they will eat them before them without shame. They will destroy the earth, and there will be none able to stand before them. This is the nation of Gog and Magog, the 22 nations that will be released in the last days. All right. And I'm talking downright near the last days. All right. 2 seconds away from the second coming of Christ. Showing you how vile and disgusting, how cannibalistic these 22 nations are, Gog and Magog, which are hidden and confined behind a barrier. But in the last days, they will be released. Now, let me continue on. They will destroy the earth, and there will be none able to stand before them. After 1 week of that sore affliction, they will all be destroyed in the plain of Joppa. For thither will all those people be gathered together with their wives and their sons and their daughters. And by the command of God, one of the hosts of the angels will descend and will destroy them in one moment. So they will gather together in the plain of Joppa. The plain of Joppa is Israel. All right, that's Israel, right near by the waters. That's when, and you could read about this prophecy in Ezekiel 38 and Ezekiel 39. It shows how the children of Israel will be there in the valley of Joppa, and the Gog and Magog is going to go ascending so that they could rob and take whatever they can take from the children of Israel, and also eat them, because they're cannibals too as well. So they will try to take them for that. But the Most High is going to send an angel to smite them and will destroy them in one moment. So this is the prophecy concerning Gog and Magog. You understand? Gog and Magog, who are hidden behind barriers today, which Alexander the Great built to specifically keep them from operating in today's earth. You understand? So this is the prophecy concerning Gog and Magog. In the last days, there will be release. Now, there's more prophecies concerning Gog and Magog, but I'm not going to get into it in this video. It's going to be a continuation in the other videos concerning Gog and Magog. But the next video that I'm about to do is going to be about the Antichrist and the blood moon. So listen, guys, watch these videos, watch these prophecies, because I'm going to read a lot of prophecies concerning these things. Anyhow, this is my video. I'm out.